Welcome back to the W number, folks. I know I started at 6:10 or something like that today, but I figured because Tommy's here now and I got till 7 o'clock on the dot tonight because all the computers are down. So, we got to utilize what we got to utilize. And I got a good dude in here tonight, named Tommy from Real Prison Talk. And he's got a great story. Grew up in New York, went to prison when he was 16. His first day in adult prison, he got buck 50 in the face. He's been through the gang violence growing up, lived by the gun, died by the gun type of thing, and then he completely changed his life around and is doing incredible things now. And but today we're going to talk about the bad stuff. We're going to talk about all the violence, all the gang stuff, all the growing up with a migrant mother in New York City, dodging bullets, whatever it is, man. I'll let him tell his story. I'm over here hyping this shit out of it. You know what I mean? He's probably gonna be like, I just, it's kind of simple life, But whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, right? Make it interesting, right? What's going on, Corso, Brett, Dave, Ma, what up? Hardcore boxing news. I know my Tommy said that you were his man. What up, man? Everybody, W number. Yeah, absolutely, bro. You already know. So, Tommy, man, let's get right to it, man. Just tell the people where you're from, what your name is, and just a little bit about how you grew up. Did you have brothers and sisters, mom and dad, things like
Sure. Sure. So I was born in South Jamaica, Queens. I say I'm from Brooklyn because I came out of the house in Brooklyn.
that.
You know what I mean? But where I was born was South Jamaica, Queens. I actually lived on 161st Street off of Hillside Avenue, down the block from the Bristol Motel. My
Mm-hmm.
block was a hostro. It was different. I lived there. My mother, my father, when I was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a baby, my father's Irish American. He went to prison. And I was with my mother, and we bounced around New York City throughout Brooklyn, Queens, Bushwick, Jackson Heights, Queens, Astoria, East New York, back to
Mm-hmm.
Queens, all over, right? Until at the point where I was of age where I started coming out of the house at about 12, 13 years old, and I'm really getting involved with street shit. That was in Brooklyn, that was in East New York. So that's why I always say that's where I'm from, East New York. That's where I had my first life experiences.
Word.
And I was with my mother. That was it, just me and my mother.
Okay,
At
word.
one point I had a stepfather, but that ain't last.
Mm. And real quick, just before I even go any further, is the audio good? Is the visual good? Everybody, just let me know in the chat if you can hear everything good and there's no feedback or nothing like that. But until then, Tommy, so you say you grew up in East New York, in the East Side of New York?
East New York is a neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It's next, like if you heard of Brownsville, Brooklyn, where Mike Tyson is from, is a famous
Yep.
neighborhood. It's
Okay.
right next to that neighborhood. They neighbor each other
Okay.
in Brooklyn. It's at the end of Brooklyn by the borderline of Queens.
So what's it like growing up out there? Is it like lots of gangs or just neighborhoods, drugs, things like that? What's going on?
At the time I was growing up, you didn't have the gangs you have now, like all the big organized, Bloods, Latin Kings, Crips. Like you really didn't like that started like when I got locked up. That's when that really started rock. I got locked up in 1991. So that's when you start seeing that on Rikers Island, places like that. But on the street, like we had crews. You know what I mean? Like dudes in my neighborhood where I was from, we had Hard Rock Crew. And
Mm,
that's just who we were. We just ran together. We all grew up together. Um, we was mixed. In the part of East New York I lived, it was mostly Puerto Rican. So most of the dudes I ran with were Puerto Rican. Few white dudes, few black dudes, but mostly Puerto Rican. And we were all there. It seemed like everyone was 2 or 3 years older than me, except for like two dudes. There's three of us that was my age. The rest, they were all older than us.
mm,
And they raised us with tough love.
mm. So what was your metamorphosis like in the streets? How did you turn into the, gun toting, wild man that you ended up going to prison as at such a young age?
Yeah, well, how'd I get to that part?
Mm,
That's interesting. So I'd have to fast forward. I have to fast forward. I go from between basically by the age of 12 going on 13,
mm,
I decided to leave home. I was leaving home because I had a case in court. They were going to lock me up. I wasn't trying to go back to court for one. There was domestic violence going on in my home,
Mm,
and I remember distinct day telling my mother I'm 13 years old, and I remember telling her, I wanted to go out, I wanted to go see my little girlfriend,
mm,
and my mother's like, nah, don't go out, don't go out. I'm like, why not? She's like, if you go out, he's gonna beat my ass. And I said, yo, like, why don't we just leave? And she was like, yo, I can't leave. I don't have a job. I don't have no money. How we gonna leave?
mm,
But in my mind, I'm saying like, that's not the problem. The problem is cocaine. The problem is that she's addicted to cocaine. She's not gonna get no better.
mm.
My life here ain't gonna get no better. And at 12, going on 13 years old, I left and I was on the street.
So your mother was addicted to cocaine when you were a little kid and everything. How did that kind of
Yeah,
affect you? Did you always see mom going out, not coming home at night and shit like that? Like, what was that like?
that, what I'm saying? Like, going out, yeah, listen, I'm not coming home from work tonight. Don't come home from work for 4 days, 5 days. I gotta raise myself. I'm 12. You know what I'm saying? Shit like
Mm,
that.
yeah,
So,
right.
so I start going into the street, and now when I'm in the street, I gravitate. I'm not gonna gravitate to the good kids who have good home life, because I'm
Mm,
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed about what's going on at home.
mm,
So I don't want them people to know me.
mm,
But other dudes who's kind of like getting in trouble, got similar backgrounds, is how, the one picture you put up, that's my friend Mike. He's like my best friend. He's like my older brother to me. He came from a rough home. Let's just say that.
mm,
He came from a real rough home, and he kind of schooled me. I gravitated towards him because he come from the same background, come from rough home, and he was a known dude on the street. He was like a couple years older than me, and
mm.
that became my best friend. Like that's who taught me how to sell drugs, which is what I started doing. I forgot the question you even asked me,
I
but
mean, just
basically, how we get into guns.
yeah.
So that led to me selling drugs.
Mm,
At a point, I was homeless. Mike family basically took me, and I was living with his family, with his mother, his sisters, his brother at times. Sometimes brothers, moved out, lived with his baby mother. So I kind of took the place of his brother. You know what I'm saying, in the house.
yep.
Uh, um, and we were living in East New York, and we were selling drugs. And one real pivotal night, I'm out there selling drugs, and I hear a car skid. And like when I turned, like coming around the corner, there was a Acura. This is 1989. I'm
Mm,
14 years old. Acura is like skidding to a stop, but before it comes to the stop, the back door comes open and a dude pops out with a shotgun, and he runs right up on me. Boom! When the car stops, another dude comes out. He got 9 millimeter, puts to his head. They're like, "Yo, don't run, don't fucking run, don't go nowhere." And I couldn't run. I was scared to death.
mm,
I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? So
mm,
they end up robbing me. They ended up taking my drugs, took my money, my little jewelry, and all that. And at that point, I was like, nah. I'm like, nah. I'm out here selling drugs, risking my freedom, doing this so that these dudes could just come and take my money. Like, nah. I need a gun.
mm.
And that was the incident that kind of really sent me down that road.
So how old were you when you bought your first pistol, and what was that feeling like? Like, ooh, look at that! Like I'm the man now.
14 years old. That right after that, 14 years old. Uh, um, nickel plated 357 Magnum, 5-inch barrel. I think it's a 5-inch barrel. It wasn't the huge one. It wasn't a snub nose. It was like 5-inch barrel, like 38 size.
Mm,
And that was that wasn't the first gun I had, but that was the first like really brand new, out of the box, good gun. And I was
yeah.
like yeah, like okay, like I got something to fire back now.
Mm. Make your
It's
balls
it's not
drop
I'm
a
not
little
saying
bit.
it. I'm not saying it was the right way to think and that, but it was what it was. It's like you had to fight fire with fire. Like that's all they understood.
Mm,
And it,
yeah.
it and it's an interesting dynamic because, excuse me, the dudes who were the stick up kids who were coming around robbing drug dealers, they know at the drug spots we're hot. The cops are constantly harassing us, so we can't have guns on us.
Mm,
So they know we're vulnerable. If they come out, boom, and they got the burners, they got the drop on us, they got us.
mm,
They know that. So we started setting traps for them. Like we started waiting on the roofs. Like if we know their cars, they know they coming around and start lighting their cars up. Like we started doing shit like that to
mm,
fire back, and that's how we like really got our respect.
mm. Did you ever think like one day you're gonna be coming around that corner and your car is gonna be the one getting lit up?
Yeah, I knew it from young, man. I knew it like I knew I was going down a certain road. I knew what I was doing. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Like I did and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not equipped to make grown decisions when you're 13 years old, but I didn't have a choice. I had to make grown man decisions at 13, 14, 15 years old.
mm,
And I made a lot of wrong decisions, you know what I mean? But ultimately I knew what I was doing. I knew what it was kind of headed for. I knew what it was hitting for, but I didn't know any other way.
and somebody else
I
asked if
didn't
you
feel
were
like I had
Italian.
options.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Someone at one of my friends that asked me if you were Italian or Spanish. Now I know the answer, but you could answer for me.
No, my mother's Cuban, my father's Irish American. So I'm
Hmm.
Cuban and Irish basically.
Hmm.
I'm
And
I'm a first generation Cuban American. My mother's from Cuba.
and so what was it like? Like, was your mother's family more boisterous and like they kind of in that life, or was your father in family in that life and kind of pull you towards it too?
No, my mother's family was not in that life at all. My mother was kind of like the black sheep. She liked to party, she liked to drink, she liked to do drugs. She was selling drugs, using cocaine, selling
Mm,
cocaine, which ended up becoming into turned into a crack addiction. So I really didn't have influence from her family. I just had influence from her.
mm,
From my mother's family, like when I was real young, yeah, I should be around like my godfather, my excuse me, my grandfather, my grandmother,
mm,
and I had that little cultural influence and shit when I was a kid.
mm,
But they were working people. They were straight people. They were not gangsters.
mm,
My father's side was a little different. My father and his brother, they want some street shit. You know what I mean?
mm. And so
They were some street shit in Queens.
was your neighborhood kind of like a Cuban neighborhood, a white neighborhood, black neighborhood? What was your neighborhood like?
No, where I came out the house in East New York was predominantly Puerto Rican. On one side of the neighborhood was predominantly Puerto Rican with a little bit of white, a little bit of black. The
Mm,
other side was predominantly black with a little bit of Puerto Rican, a little bit of white. You know what I'm saying? So I was more on the Puerto Rican side of the neighborhood.
mm.
So it was like a Puerto Rican neighborhood mostly. You know what I'm saying?
And so what was there gang influence in your neighborhood growing up?
Nah, but there was crews.
Mm,
There was crews like back in the days. You had a big drug crew called the Hardy Boys. They were like a Spanish crew. They were a big crew. You had a crew of dudes, notorious, black dudes out of Cypress Projects called the A Team. Cause they was known for that because they used to have vans. They would roll up in a van, snatch you up, you be in the van, gone. They might never see you again, type shit. You know what I mean? Like they
really?
were serious, serious dudes, man.
So
It
basically,
was
growing up, you
dangerous
knew
neighborhood, man.
like the atmosphere around you was that there was serious killers, and basically it was like you get ambushed off the roof. I mean, as like you had the little kids up on the roof shooting at
Yeah,
people. So
yeah.
at any moment you could get taken out this world. Did that ever cross your mind? Like, yeah, any moment my life could be over. Should I just do whatever the fuck I want now? Live the way I want now, and like any thoughts of the future, just like whatever. Like,
Dog, one night I was with my best friend Mike, one of my boys Jimmy. He lived down here in Florida now. And they're in, the brownstone building is?
we got plenty out here.
Like two, yes, it's like a brownstone building, so it got the two double doors.
Mhm.
Mike and Jimmy stand in the double doors. I'm on the stairs, I'm facing them, my back is to the street. And Mike told me, he said, yo, watch that car. And I turned and look and I seen a brown Caprice Classic
Mm,
with tint windows. And back in the days, those were either taxi cabs or they were detective cars or they were dudes up to no good. One of the three, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And the car crept by real slow, and they kept going. And and as it went down the block, like when you got to look at through the lights, tint windows, and all this shit, I could tell it was only two people in the car.
mm,
So we just brushed it off. So we're talking and bullshitting, whatever, and we're drinking and smoking weed. This is when I stopped drinking. We were drinking and smoking weed, and I was feeling kind of nice. And he tells me, he said, "Yo, there's that car again." And when I looked over my right shoulder, the car was kind of past me already. And I turned this way over my left, and I seen a dude I know hanging out the window with a submachine gun, and he let off about 5 shots, and the gun jammed. But he hit me right in the side of my ribs.
mm,
That one bullet went in the right side of my rib, in the left side of my ribs, came out of the right side of my body.
mm.
I died twice, basically. You know what I'm saying? I was brought back twice with the defibrillators.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about at a point where I thought if my life was gone, it was there. But I remember like feeling it's weird. Like when you're dying, you can feel yourself dying. It don't feel like nothing else. It's not like you're going to sleep. It's kind of like you know those lights that have a dimmer,
Mm,
and you know how you start dimming it and you start darkening it real slow. It kind of feel like that's how your life is fading out of your body when you're dying. It's a distinct feeling.
mm.
And I remember telling myself like I'm not dying.
Someone said, "Damn," and I was just thinking the same thing. Like, damn, yeah.
Or
I've thought like I've been there before where I've been stabbed and
uh,
I've been in bad
in
car
goosebumps.
accidents. I've been beaten really bad. And I thought like, man,
Yeah,
this could be the moment where I'm going to fucking die because at any violent situation could end up with you going out the back door in a bag. But, never where it was like, I'm like in and out of consciousness with the bullet fucking fragments popping out of my head or something like nothing like that. But like,
yeah.
God bless everybody going through something like that right now. I know there's a few people in my neighborhood, but we'll get to that at a different time, man. God bless everybody, like I said, man. Everybody who knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about, and I really do. I send my prayers out to everybody. Um, so what age were you when you got that bullet when you got shot? Well, how old were you?
16 years
16.
old.
So you were getting ready
I
to walk through the doors of the prison at that time.
Yeah, I was fresh out of a juvenile institution. I was home for about 4 weeks.
Mm,
I was home for about 4 weeks. A friend of mine in a well-known case, was they were convicted, did time, this, that, and the third. Some were acquitted, whatever. He basically he did a drive-by on a bicycle. He seen
mm,
dudes, who we were going at it with in a truck. He was on a bicycle. He lit the truck up. Straight bullet killed the old lady in the church van. Boom. Like gone, gone. So on that day, they went to retaliate and they wanted to hit my boy Mike, the one you put up in the picture. And I happened to be with him. And that's when what I described to you was on the stoop when they shot me. Like that's exactly when that happened. I was
wow.
16 years old.
Mm. And so what led so was there a chain reaction after that? Was there a gang war, a gang fight, and then you went back, get retaliation? Like how did it end?
No, it was a bunch of retaliation after that. When I came out of the hospital, one of my friends kind of broke me out of the hospital. I had to escape the hospital because I was about to go into custody of the juvenile institution because I was supposed to be on excuse me, on what you call aftercare, which is like parole for juveniles. So I was still on aftercare. So even though I'm 16, I was still on aftercare in the juvenile system. 16, you go to Rikers Island, you subject to the adult system if you get arrested.
Mm,
So basically, my boy broke me out the hospital. I wasn't fully healed, and I was out of the hospital and went back at it, selling drugs, doing what we do. And there was unfortunately there was a few dudes that came out, they threatened our workers, they waved guns, this, that, and the third. One of the dudes, one of the ones who shot me that we were going back and forth with. There's been a bunch of shootouts. A bunch of my friends shot them, they shot a bunch of my friends, that, and the third, whatever. And I ran into one of them. You know what I mean? Someone told me, tipped me, one of them was coming. One of the dudes who tried to run the workers off the block. I ran up on him. He was, unfortunately, man, he was a kid like me. I wish it didn't go this way, but I shot him 13 times.
Mm,
It took his life. I got 6 to 18 years for that.
wow. And so that all stemmed from that incident there, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy how these kids don't see it coming like that, you know? They
Nah,
never see it down the line. They just see, oh, that's that dude right there. Fuck you, boom, boom. And then before you know it, you got your little sister getting hit with a straight bullet and your fucking family
yes.
crumbling and you fucking doing life in prison. There you go.
Word,
There's your fucking hero story right there.
word.
So you end up walking through the doors of juvenile first after that case. How far after that case? Like, so you shoot the kid,
No.
did it catch you right
Oh,
there? What happens?
no, no, no. So they don't catch me right there. You know, I'm on the run, whatever. They look for me. I got into a bullshit street beef with a dude. I'm walking my girl, another dude. Dude bumps into me, bigger, older dude. You know, I had a little size on. Bumps into me. Keep walking, like he looking, I'm looking. Kid shit.
Yeah.
Like what? What's up? I'm like, what's up? First thing I do, I grab the gun, and my girl's like, no, don't do that. Da, da, da. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You know what I mean? And I walk away from the situation. And there was like a six people, like three dudes, three girls, but
Mm,
they wanted like, kind of grandstand. So now I had a few friends, so they ended up coming in, and I basically end up shooting a dude for nothing, over bullshit street beef.
mm.
And for that, I got 25 years of life.
Damn. So you caught two before you even got hit with the one.
Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah,
So
I
you
was I was
walk in at
bugging. I was
16.
bugging.
Yeah, you had 16, two bodies in fucking, or, you know, yeah, yeah, wow. And so you walk through the door. I mean, so you must have got arrested. Was there a manhunt? Was there, what
Nah, it
happened? How
wasn't
did they catch you?
manhunt, but they were looking for me. Um, Driving through Queens, 2 o'clock in the morning. Me, Mike, his cousin, and we got some guns in the car. Excuse me, I'm got a little
It's all
indigestion.
right, bro. You do your time.
I
Take your
just I
time,
just
man. Just
ate.
drink
I just
rest
ate
of
before
time.
we came on, and uh, and we come back from Queens. Cops pull us over. Make a long story short, I get knocked off with two guns,
Mm,
9 millimeter, 357. I give them a fake name. I go to Rikers Island. So prints pop up. My real name, everything comes up. They put me in lineups
mm-hmm,
for the two homicides that I just spoke about, and I was arrested for each one of those. Well,
mm,
I was identified in lineups for them. I beat the gun case at trial. They released me. They released me by mistake. They weren't supposed to release me. They were supposed to contact the 75th precinct. They were supposed to rearrest me for the homicides because I got identified. They wanted me to get convicted on the gun case so they could use that against me before they push the indictment forward. I didn't think
mm,
they planned on me winning trial, and I won trial, and they released me. That lasted for about 4 weeks. Someone told on me, cops nabbed me. Now I'm back on Rikers Island, 17 years old, and continue fighting these cases. And now I was indicted for the two homicides,
mm.
which end up resulting basically in a sense of 25 years of life.
And so at 17 years old in Rikers Island, are you the youngest kid on your unit or are you just a
No,
typical another 17-year-old kid?
typical, typical. You got C-74 adolescent building. It starts at it's 16 to 18 years old. When you turn 19, they send you to the adult jails on Rikers Island because Rikers Island is a bunch of jails.
Uh,
There's several different jails on this island. One is an adolescent building for 16 to 18 years old, but you're subject to the adult laws. You're not. This isn't juvenile laws. You are in the regular adult criminal system at 16 years old in New York City. At that time, they're trying to change it to 18 now.
wow. And so are they the same like rec times, same yard times, shit like that?
Yeah, same shit, same
Nothing that
shit. adult prisons. Yeah, though you are locked up.
Mm.
They're not holding your hand. This ain't juvenile institution. This is none of that.
And so are most kids there fighting trial, or are they there doing time? Or
Yeah. No,
so
they're fighting trial because it's a jail, right? Because is a county jail in New
okay.
York City. It's just a giant county jail.
And can you do time on Rikers Island?
You could do city time up to
Yeah.
1 year.
Okay.
Up
Okay.
to 1 year. You could do.
And you knew you weren't gonna be there, so you were just, doing your little shit, and then you were gonna be out of there as soon as you got your time, right? So,
Yeah, I knew I was headed up north. You know what I mean?
what was Rikers Island as a juvenile like? Was there stabbings? Was there gangs? What was it like? Like your first day in there, what are you seeing? What are you noticing? Smells, tastes, sights. What are you seeing? What are you hearing?
My first day there, I got robbed.
You got
I
robbed.
got robbed. I'm sleeping. It's night. Dudes ran up on me, grabbed me, put an ice pick to my neck, took my clothes, and left like some bullshit clothes there. Came up off me. I got up like yo, nah, fuck that. I want my shit. Give me my shit. When the dude turned around with the ice pick again, I didn't want it. I was scared.
Mm.
I was scared. I didn't want it, and that didn't sit right with me. I didn't feel good about that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel good about that. But that's how it started out for me.
Wow, dude. So that was the first night, huh?
Yeah,
So that kind of opened your eyes, like, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I gotta do, kind of.
yeah,
This is where you gotta dig right
yeah,
here, dude. Pull that fucking man right out of you, dude, and do what you gotta do.
yeah. You got to be something different. You know what I mean? You got to
Mm.
be something different.
So what'd you be?
I was I adapted.
Mm.
I adapted. After that, my next housing area, sure enough, someone tried me for my sneakers. Because and once that happened to me, I learned I adapted quick. I robbed someone.
Mm.
I got some brand new sneakers again. Because you're allowed to have your street clothes on Rikers Island. And once I'm in another housing area, what happens? Dude tries to rob me. We go to the bathroom over my sneakers, and over my sneakers, we get it on. This dude was shorter, stockier. He knew how to box. And he knocked me out.
Mm.
Oh, he hit me in my temple. The lights went out. My knee hit the ground. I woke up, but it was like a flash. It's like a flash knockout. So my knee hit the ground.
Mm.
Woke up. I'm like, yo, let me up. Let me up. So he lets me up. We go at it again. He puts it on me again. Bing, 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 bing. And his boys were there. He was from Brownsville.
Mm.
And his boys who were there, they were like, nah, that's it. Leave him. Like he's good. You know what I mean? Like he fights. He's good. Leave him.
Yeah. Yep.
Leave him. And that was kind of like the start where I was like, this is well, because I was never a super tough dude,
Right.
but I knew you better be tough enough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You better be something. And that was kind of the start of it for me.
It gave you just
Like,
enough to let you see, like, I could get respect. You know what I mean? If I just put up,
yeah,
if I am tough enough, I could get that respect where people will be like, you know what? Nah, give him that. That
and
type of.
it's what made me want to learn how to box too. Because
Mm.
I ended up becoming cool with the dude. He was like, yo, when you go up north, learn how to box. He's like, there's dudes who know how to box, learn how to box. You know what I'm saying? He told me what to watch out for, who's good, who's not, whatever, and learn how to use your joints, work out, get in shape. You know what I mean? Shit like
Mm.
that. And it
Right.
kind of it kind of woke me up for that, and I did.
So were you the type that was always working out, eating healthy, or were you kind of in the mix and
Yeah.
just fighting and doing whatever?
I was a little bit in the mix, not a whole lot. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
wasn't crazy in the mix, but I was definitely always working out. I
Yeah,
was
me too.
slim. I was ripped. I was, real, I was young. I was a kid, 20, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old,
Mm.
places like Attica Correctional Facility where I'm basically maturing it into becoming a man where I have different people because you're around older dudes.
So
You're
there's
gonna be
different levels of facilities where you mature as you go, for you
yeah,
anyway. So what would you say these facilities are in the stages that you hit as you go? Can you explain them to me a little bit?
yeah. All right. Well, I'm basically saying Rikers Island in the adolescence was very wild.
Mm.
Like at any time something could pop off, a lot of cutting. In the adults there was more stabbings and people dying. In the adolescents it was more. more cutting, jumping, a lot of jumping, shit
Mm.
like that, and you had to be ready to go. It was savage.
Yeah.
It was savage.
Hmm.
Upstate, it was a little different because it was like all of a sudden, I run into a dude that I haven't seen in 2 years. He was my size. Now he looks like Evander Holyfield or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck have you been? You know what I'm saying? Like what are these dudes doing? Like these dudes are really, really about that life. Like
Yeah.
they're really it's different.
Yeah.
And you learn to respect and find your lane.
Mm.
You need to find your lane or you're gonna be put in a lane. That's real talk.
So how long was it before you kind of found your lane and kind of keep on the same track with the different stages you was at the different facility?
Yeah, that was interesting. Early on, I mostly just like hang out with more dudes from my neighborhood, dudes from East
Mm.
New York, dudes who I knew, other dudes I met. One dude that was influential for me was my man Patty Irish, man. He was a well-known dude in New York State prison. Real highly respected dude, good dude, real honorable.
Mm.
And he was one of the dudes, he was kind of influential on me, like how you conduct yourself with like certain principles. Like
Right.
it's not necessarily about being a tough dude, it's about being a good dude. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you kind of want to be that because when you're in a place like Attica, you're in a place like Clinton, Auburn Correctional Facilities, maximum securities. These people are getting stabbed to death. Like when it's on, like it's on. It's dudes who have nothing to lose, man.
Mm.
It's like dudes who are really about that knife action, not pulling stunts. It's meet me here, there, secluded areas, bring a knife and let like
Mm.
it's dangerous.
When they
And
say
you
respect, they mean respect. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you learn to respect.
Word. What's the worst place you was at?
I'm gonna say Attica because that's where I was at the longest, so I got to
Mm.
see the most shit. But it varies. Like sometimes one prison becomes a little more dangerous for a time than one is.
Mm.
But like all those maximum security prisons in New York State, they're no cakewalk.
Right, right. I kind of want to get to that too because that's interesting that you say like it varies, right? To like which level
Yeah,
of violence, like some of them go up, some of them go down, and you guys got more than one maximum security there to where like
right.
Massachusetts, we got the one big one. So you're gonna see everybody that's in the max there, they go to that one spot.
Oh
So
yeah.
Brian, what's up, Maddie? What's going on, Brian? So and everybody else in the chat, Timbuktu, Brett, um, Corso, uh, Ma, everybody, um, Justin, man, growing global, everybody. Lewis, what's going on, player? How's everybody doing tonight? We got Tommy in the house from Real Prison Talk. So you kind of like had to learn at a young age exactly what your place was inside the prison, like who you were gonna be, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
figured out who you were gonna be, and you weren't gonna be the bitch, you weren't gonna be the dude getting taken advantage of
No,
because you got robbed and you said fuck that, I'm going and I'm getting my shit and I'm robbing somebody back. You know what I mean? And that's kind of
right.
like to me, it tells me that you sacked up and you're gonna be the dude that's robbing people and not getting robbed instead. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
who wants to be the guy getting robbed? Tell you the truth, right? Fuck it.
yeah.
Uh,
It was a dog eat. It was savage. You know what I mean? Like I had nothing. There's a lot of people there that have nothing. You have absolutely nothing when you're on Rikers Island. This ain't.
mm.
It's just different. It's a savage environment, man.
Remember that first day you said you went up there. It was 19. You were 19 years old and you walked
Yeah.
into was it Attica or where was it
Clinton
that you
Correctional Facility. Clinton Correctional Facility. It
Clinton
was Clinton
Correctional
Correctional
Facility? Tell us
Facility.
that story again. I want to hear. So you went right from juvenile. You get on the bus, get up to
No, no juvenile. No
I mean,
juvenile.
well, the C 74 or whatever it was.
Right? Yeah, adolescents.
Yeah,
Yeah, they. Oh, I see. Yeah, I said on juvenile 'cause I think of the separate system because adolescents is still adult system. You go
yeah,
to adult prison, the adults,
yeah.
and yeah, I went into a prison where there's a dude who I had cut prior in my bed,
Mm,
and like prison goes, it's a small world, and he sent someone at me, And they came behind me and they ripped me from here all the way to the back of my neck. So yeah, that was my awakening. That was day one for me, 19
That's
years old.
crazy. So each place you go,
Yeah,
the first day in the adolescent facility, you get ice picked to the neck and robbed, and then up here, as soon as you walk through the door, someone's cutting you. So you had a rough journey, bro.
people don't want to tell these stories. I could tell you plenty of stories of the
Of
wins and
course, I
things
got
heard,
stabbed. Fucking shit.
but you got a lot of these dudes. They don't want to tell you those stories. Like it's real, man. It's like shit happens.
Absolutely. Fucking shit, man. It never stops happening if you ask me, bro. Every time, every day in there, something happening, man. Someone's just looking to do something to prove themselves or looking for something to make a name off of on
Yeah,
a daily basis on Fall River shout out.
yeah,
Tommy's been in the trenches. He has, bro. Someone else said the
yeah.
max was like that. It could be quiet for 2 to 3 months and then 2 staff assaults, 2 stabbings in a week. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
what I heard also about New York prisons, right? What's the cops like out there? I heard that the cops are like nothing to play with, bro. Like they'll fucking kill you themselves.
But listen, we've all seen the video that's out there, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The recent video of Robert Brooke.
yeah.
Like those kind of beatings happen regularly in New York State. They
The one
probably
where
don't
he's
think
tied to the radiator in the
they
room
tied
and
him
they're
to the
beating him with
radio.
the broomsticks and shit. The cops.
Yeah, they're beating him with the boot, their stick. They were kicking him
Yeah.
on his chest. They're picking him up by his neck. They they were they were reckless, man. Like they had no regard for his life. But they
Mm.
beat dudes like that in New York State on a regular basis.
And how do they get away with that type of thing? And have you ever been through it yourself?
Yeah, I've been through it myself. They get away with it because it's like their word is law against you against yours. It's very insular.
Mm.
It's easy for them to concoct charges against you and it's gonna stick. They jumped me, pounded on me, tried to drag me into a pipe chase because this one cop he wanted to stick the nightstick up my ass. He kept threatening to do that. Get him in the pipe chase. I'm gonna put this nightstick up his ass. And I'm fighting with them, like literally fighting fighting for my ass from the and this is the cops. You know what I'm saying? That this is the cops. The cop said he said I came out of my cell, swung on him, he grabbed me, they hemmed me up, cuffed me, took me to the box, and they gave me 2 years in SHU. They broke my nose, broke my thumb, gave me some other some other minor injuries, bruised my ribs, shit like that.
Mm.
Luckily, I didn't get a real bad beating, but I didn't get a horrible beating because it took them a long time to get the cuffs on me. When they get the cuffs on you, they
Oh,
destroy you.
I already
You
know,
have
bro.
to fight as long as you can not to get the cuffs on until the more white shirts come as possible, the more higher ups.
Mm.
Because now when the higher ups are there, they don't want to be associated with that shit. It'll calm down or whatever. Like
So they
the
save
whatever
you,
beating
kind of.
taking stop. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying.
Mm.
Or you end up like Robert Brooke.
Mm.
It's horrible how they treat you, man.
Word. For
It's
us, it's the
horrible.
nurses that save us. So like we wait, you'll fight until
Yeah,
you can get other staff there because the COs don't give a fuck if you're a white shirt or if you're a friggin' black shirt. They're all like
yeah,
this, cleaning each other's backs off, dude. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They'll lie and lie and lie.
The wild shit, one of the wildest shit, one of the wildest shits I've seen. I don't want to mention the name because I'm not
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
not in this gang, but
Mm.
there was a certain gang when I was in Elmira. That dude got on the phone was like, "Yo, police jumped one of us. We're gonna hit the police." Why they say that on the phone? They locked down the whole I block. They searched all the blocks. They took out one of the dudes who was supposedly a leader of this gang. He was a couple cells away from me. They cuffed him up while he's in the cell. Had him put his hands through the fetal slot, put the cuffs on him. Took him out of the cell. He's a big dude. And he's like, "Yo, why?" And they're like, "Yo, we're going to SHU. We got to get the camera. Bring camera down here. We got to escort this dude to the box." He's like, "Yo, why am I going to box?" The CO said for assaulting an officer, and the CO punched the next CO that was right next to him, just punched him right in the face. Boom! You did that. So you know what I'm saying? Wicked, man, like wicked shit they do, bro.
Wow.
Wicked
Tommy, there's a
shit.
question there for you. Tommy, you ever met the CO Ebro?
Ebron, yeah, yeah, on Rikers Island, Adolescence, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
He's a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
He tried to do the right thing by people.
So then that's my next question is that so out here, right? If you're a shitbag CO, it's kind of like hockey. They got somebody on that team comes out, they do some dirty shit to your team, so your team sends out the bruisers and they go and take care of them. Like here, if the CO's out here, if they fuck around with somebody with one of us, say if they put their hands on us on the tier, beat us up in front of them, and or whatever,
Yeah,
that's a disrespectful move, so that when we come out, they'll get beat up themselves, something like that. Where comes around, it goes around, they might get cut, they might get stabbed, whatever the situation is, and then they'll come back and they'll beat the shit out of some random strangers and fucking yeah. Is it kind of
it's
like that?
nah, nah. It's happened like that on rare occasions. It's more about individuals. It's more about an individual dude that he's just like, nah, I'm not going out like that. He responds by bringing that violence to them.
Mm,
But when you bring the like another friend, a friend of mine, Ron Dude, man, they smacked him, they hit him in Attica while he's on the wall, and there's a bunch of them. He held that. He went back to the cell. He came out with a knife, and he hit the offending party,
mm,
and he hit him a few times, whatever. They hurt him, man. They had that dude handcuffed in the cell for like a week with like broken ribs.
mm,
They messed his head up, like they destroyed him. They physically destroyed him where he's got injuries that he has to deal with the rest of his life. It's
mm.
no joke.
Yeah, I bet fucking absolutely not, bro. Like when it comes to physical injuries, bro, you can catch the wrong you hit somebody in a nerve or something, they could lose their feeling forever. You break their jaw in the wrong way, they can have a fucking disfigured face. Like you break their nose. I mean, anything physical where it comes to extreme violence, you can end up with, I hit a dude in the center of the forehead with a two, and now he can't talk right. Like he has drool, like it's fucked up, bro. You can end up with some fucked
Yeah,
up shit. Tommy, Tim Layton, um,
that's my guy.
says
That's
salute,
my
cousin
guy. What's
Tommy.
up, Tim? It's my
All
man,
right.
Tim Big Train Layton. That's a
Yeah,
big
bro.
boy.
I'm glad I had you in here for my comeback because your story is so amazing, bro. I kind of want to get a real official recorded version of your story, but so when you're going through the state system and you have all these different little traumas happening here there. Do you ever like when do you get close to the end of your sentence? Like what years? Like when you hit the 5 year mark?
No, I think when I made a definitive turn was more like when I had about 9 year mark, 8 year, 8 or 9 year mark. I really got focused. I got married. I met a woman. We became real close. We had to get married.
Mm,
We were married for 9 years.
wow.
Unfortunately, that didn't last. When I came home, it didn't last long.
Mm,
I didn't plan for it to end like that, but that's just how life worked out for us.
mm,
But that helped to make me focus a little more. We had conjugal visits. You got someone else to think about. It becomes a little bit different. You start looking forward to speaking to someone. You're not just you don't just feel so isolated from the world, and that helped me
mm,
focus a little more and really take a turn and stay away from all the bullshit.
mm.
Because I did about 10 and a half years in the box and key block and all that, like up to
Wow.
33. The most I did was like 33 months, like almost 3 years at one clip.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a
Me
lot.
too. Same thing.
It's a
I did
lot.
10 years in the box. So you got to actually have sex while you were in prison with your girlfriend?
Well, you had to be married. You had to meet certain criteria. You had to be married. You got to have like no tickets in a certain amount of time, like a year, whatever. You got to have your programs complete. You got to take a violence program, drug program, whatever programs you're mandated to take. You have to
Yeah.
have all them complete. So you better believe if you get married, average dude that gets married looks at, yo, we have a 2-day conjugal visit. You know what I mean? I just got to complete these programs. Dude will get focused. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
bro. Is that like so conjugal visits? Is that like the thing that up here it's like the fucking culinary arts program? It's like, yeah, it's there. There's like 4 people and fucking 15,000 fucking people in it, but like it's there. You can get it, but it's
Yeah,
hard. But like, what
it's
is?
yeah, it's not a whole lot. It's not the majority of people doing time. You know what I'm saying?
So are guys
It's
getting the conjugal visits? Are they
that-
like,
nah, nah,
nah?
they're not like that. Cause most of them are like, I would say are the ones getting conjugal visits. A lot of them are like usually fairly decent dudes. That's why they
Yeah.
still got people supporting them.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So they generally and if they are on some bullshit, they're not really trying to show because they're not trying to really get in no shit.
right.
They're not trying to
They're trying
mess
to
up
get
what they
some
got going on.
pussy, right? They're trying to go in that
Yeah,
that van.
yeah.
Right? Who wants to fucking fight when they could go, lay with their girl over it? You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Sorry, my bad. I'm over here fucking. Hell yeah, it's a super dope story, bro. I wish I had more time, but we only have till 7 o'clock tonight. But I'm definitely gonna get you. I want to get you on here again, Mikey, somewhere where we can have like a fucking there's no time constraints, none at all. And I want to get you on here and do a fucking breakdown, dude. I want to fucking hear your whole story. We could do
You
the
gotta
10
have
years in
time.
the box.
We gotta
You
have
got yeah. So but well, let's do this, right? You have your own channel, right? Um,
yeah,
so on your channel, let's do a little promo for your channel real quick. You
yeah,
have some similar stories to mine, right?
yeah,
10 years in the box. I did 10 years in the box, and these make for great videos, dude. Like where people need not only do they want to hear these, but they need to hear them because people we can no longer brush these things under a rug and fucking act like they don't happen. And then when we get out, we just want to forget. We don't want to talk about it. Just leave it in the past. But there's still a whole portion of people in America locked up in these prisons going
yeah,
through these things. So if we're out here staying silent, it's like watching a girl get raped and not doing anything about it. It's fucked up. You should do something
yeah,
about it, right? We should
yeah,
be doing
yeah.
something about it. And that's what I've, dedicated myself, my story, my time, my effort. Everything goes towards making a difference in the system. And unfortunately, talking about it at this point really is all we can just get the story out there, get the message out there, and kind of sway the younger kids that are out there, smacking dudes like you were, you know what I mean, killing people out here like guns are the only way to live. Like, and I get it. When you walk around a corner and people are shooting at you from a building top, you're gonna want to get a gun too. It's like in
Yeah.
prison. You go in there and they're like, everybody's got one. Here's a banger. You're gonna need it. I mean,
Yeah,
violence begets violence, and it's a never-ending door. I mean,
it's a bad
never-ending.
cycle.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean?
But
How do you get out of it?
if sharing, I just feel like if sharing our stories can help someone relate a little bit and see through the cycle so they don't make the same mistakes,
Mhm.
then we're doing something good. And I always think that's always a possibility.
You changed your life around. How'd you do it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Everyone wants to know if there was one big thing. I don't know, man. But I really fell in love with the fitness industry, and I got certified as a personal trainer before I got out of prison,
Mhm.
and I pursued that as my plan A, B, and C. And I stuck to it, and it's been it's been good to me, man. I'm damn good at what I do, you know?
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, bro. Be a master at what you do. You know what I mean? Putting in that work, those hours, bro.
Yeah,
Training your mind, bro, to be a savage machine, bro, at whatever you do. And by the way, happy fucking New Year's. 2025 is gonna be a good year, right? This is gonna be the year that I remind everybody every episode about success and the philosophy behind success. How do we reach success? How do we get success? You wake up every single day and you chase money like you're chasing crack on the block, bro. That's it. You know what I mean? You would get the crack if you needed the crack. If you were a crackhead, you'd go get that somehow. Well, money's crack. Think about it like that. How you gonna get it, right? Figure it out. Just
Yeah,
don't rob anybody or bang, right?
yeah,
Gotta
you
do
found
it,
a
bro.
way.
Success is the wave. It's
You
changing.
found a way.
Yeah, you find a way, bro. You find a fucking way. But I appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. It's actually really time to fucking go, unfortunately, because I have to leave 5 minutes early and it's 7:50 right now. But Tommy, it's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
good.
Do you want to step up here and do another one with me?
Yeah, yeah, we'll figure something out. Yeah, we
Yup.
can do that.
He said, "Be Mr.
All
Freedom
right.
said, be a human, get a job, and be an honorable man." That's some wisdom right there.
Real shit.
Fact. You don't
All
have to
right,
do
I'm out.
much. All right, brother.
Peace.
Everybody, man. W number. Ow.